Hi guys! Today I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated releases for the first half of 2024, so January through June. So I don't have a whole lot of books here, I just have like 9 I think, but I thought I would go ahead and talk about them at least. So first is Up From Dust, Martha's Story by Heather Kaufman. It is releasing on January 23rd. And the summary is Martha of Bethany is no stranger to adversity. After her mother's untimely death, Martha shoulders the responsibility of raising her siblings, quiet and studious Lazarus and wild and rambunctious Mary. She finds solace in friendship and the beginnings of first love, but just as Martha begins to imagine a new future, hardship strikes again and her dreams crumble into dust. 10 years later, Martha's friend pleads for the new teacher, Jesus of Nazareth, to come and heal her husband. When Martha discovers that the carpenter rabbi is connected to her past, she's not sure she can trust him with her future. But as he continues to perform miracles, the invitation to believe becomes harder to resist, renewing Martha's hardened heart, even as she faces an unknown future. So yeah, I love biblical fiction. I've read a few about Martha, and I usually like those. So, or Mary of Bethany or Lazarus, one of those three. So, I thought that one sounded pretty good. All right, next is Of Love and Treason by Jamie Ogle, also releasing on January 23rd, which is just kind of a funny coincidence. Let's see. The description is, Valentine defies the emperor and becomes a hero and the most wanted man in the empire. Compelled by his faith, he has nothing to lose until a chance encounter with the daughter of a Roman jailer changes everything. Rome, AD 270. In the wake of the emperor's marriage ban, rumors swirl that there is one man brave enough to perform wedding ceremonies in secret. A public notarius and leader of an underground church, Valentine believes the emperor's edict unjust and risks his own life for the sake of his convictions. But as his fame grows, so do fears for his safety. Iris, the daughter of a Roman jailer, believes regaining her sight will ease the mounting troubles at home. Her last hope rests in searching out Valentine and his church, but the danger of associating with people labeled a threat to the empire is great. Still, as Iris's new friends lead her to faith in God, Iris is drawn to Valentine, and they both begin to hope for a future together beyond the treacherous empire. But when a past debt and a staggering betrayal collide, Valentine, Iris, and everyone they love must fight for their lives and wrestle with trusting a God who can restore sight, yet does not always keep his followers from peril. So yeah, that sounded pretty good. Also seems like that summary giveaway a lot. But anyways, yeah. That I never read a book about the historical Saint Valentine, so I thought that one sounded really interesting. And I usually like historical, like things like, I like biblical fiction and I like historical fiction, and I also like the line between historical and biblical fiction, which is like that's about when it is. Basically pre-1000 AD seems like it's the line, but or like pre-fall of Rome. Even if it's post-biblical, to me it still feels like biblical fiction. All right, the next book I have is Once a Queen by Sarah Arthur, and it's releasing on January 30th. And guys, let me just read you this summary, and I'll give you a few seconds to guess why you think I want this book. When 14-year-old Eva Joyce unexpectedly finds herself spending the summer at the mysterious manor house of the English grandmother she's never met, after strange things happen in the gardens at night, Eva turns to the elderly housekeeper, gardener, and the gardener's great-grandson Frankie for answers. Astonishingly, they all seem to believe that the fairy tales are true, that portals to other worlds still exist. They suspect that Eva's grandmother was once a queen in one of those worlds. But Eva's grandmother denies it all. After a horrific family tragedy when she was young, her heart is closed to the beauty and pain of her past. It's up to Eva, with Frankie's help, to discover what really happened, whether family relationships can be restored, and if the portals are closed forever. So I don't know for sure if it's supposed to be, but it sure sounds like it's about Susan Pevensey post-Last Battle, and I am here for that. Very much here for that. So that sounds like a really good book. I want to read it. Even if it's not about, even if it's not, it's clearly not about Susan. I would think there would be some sort of indication that it was fan fiction. But, it still sounds cool. But also the Susan Pevensey vibes are strong with this one. So, yes. Next, I have The Irish Matchmaker by Jennifer Deibel. Not sure how to say her name. Releasing on February. That's the second month of the year. It's February. February 13th. Let's see. As the daughter of a well-known matchmaker, Catriona Daly is no stranger to the business of love, and sees it as her ticket away from the sleepy village that only comes alive during the annual matchmaking festival. Enter Lord Osborne's son, Andrew, who has returned to the festival after being disappointed by a rival matchmaker's failed setup. Catriona seizes the opportunity to make a better match for the handsome man, and for herself. Cattle farmer Donald Bunready is in desperate need of a wife after loss left him to handle the farm and raise his daughter on his own. Shy and lacking the finer social graces, he agrees to attend the matchmaking festival to appease his daughter. But when he arrives, it's not any of the other merrymakers that catch his eye, but rather his matchmaker, who clearly has eyes for someone else. So I read a book by Jennifer Dybel this year, and I really liked it, so I figured that sounded good. So, yes. Next is The Ark and the Dove, The Story of Noah's Wife by Jill Eileen Smith, releasing on February 27th. Zara and Noah have walked together with the Creator for their entire lives, and they have done their best in an increasingly wicked and defiant world to raise their 3 sons to follow in their footsteps. It has been a challenge, and it's about to get much, much harder. When the Creator tells her husband to build an ark to escape the coming wrath against the sins of humanity, Zara steps out with him in faith. But the derision and sabotage directed their way from both friends and extended family are difficult to bear, as is knowing that everyone she interacts with beyond her husband, her sons, and their wives is doomed to destruction. And when the ark is finally finished and the animals have been shut up inside, Zara and her family embark on an adventure that will test their patience and their faith as they await deliverance and dry ground. Yeah, I love the story of Noah, so Noah's Wife book, yeah, sounds good. And I've read Jill Eileen Smith before, and I liked her, so. Next is To Slip the Bonds of Earth by Amanda Flower. It's going to be released on March 26th. And, let's see. While not as famous as her older siblings Wilbur and Orville, the celebrated inventors of flight, Catherine Wright is equally inventive, especially when it comes to solving crimes. In USA Today, bestselling author Amanda Flower's radiant new historical mystery series inspired by the real sister of the Wright brothers. December 1903. While Wilbur and Orville Wright's flying machine is quite literally taking off in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, with its historic 57-second flight, their sister Catherine is back home in Dayton, Ohio, running the bicycle shop, teaching Latin, and looking after the family. A Latin teacher and suffragette, Catherine is fiercely independent, intellectual, and the only Wright sibling to finish college. But at 29, she's frustrated by the gender inequality in academia and is looking for a new challenge. She never suspects it would be sleuthing. Returning home to Dayton, Wilbur and Orville accept an invitation to a friend's party. Nervous about leaving their as-yet unpatented flat hair plans unattended, Wilbur decides to bring them to the festivities, or they are stolen right out from under his nose. As always, it's Catherine's job to problem solve, and in this case, crime solve. As she sets out to uncover the thief among their circle of friends, Catherine soon gets more than she bargained for. She finds her number one suspect dead with a letter opener lodged in his chest. It seems the patent is the least of her brother's worries. They have a far more earthbound concern: prison. Now Catherine will have to keep her feet on the ground and put all her skills to work to make sure Wilbur and Orville are free to fly another day. Yeah, that sounded good. Not read. It's not normally my time period, but just that mystery element sounded really fun. So, yeah, that one is also on my list. Next is The British Booksellers by Christy Cambron, coming out April 9th. This one just has a short summary. Charlotte once dreamed of playing cello and owning a bookshop with best friend Amos. The Great War altered everything. In 1940, now a widow, she runs a bookstore in the heart of her hometown, competing against Amos, a wounded veteran who operates a shop across town. Can they put aside their conflict to fight Hitler's arriving army? Yeah, something about bookstore plus fighting the Nazis. That sounded cool, so. Next is Ahoti, The Story of Tamar, by Miriam Feinberg-Vamash and Eva Marie Everson. It's coming out May 14th. And, let's see. A masterful and redemptive retelling of the biblical story of the Princess Tamar and her determination to reclaim her life and God-given purpose. Ahoti brings to life the Old Testament story of the biblical Princess Tamar, the daughter of King David, king of Israel. Tamar's search to overcome humiliation and betrayal after being assaulted by her brother takes her away from her childhood home and forces her to navigate the machinations of royal courts and play a fateful role in the lives of far-off kingdoms. The familiar Bible story ends with Tamar living desolate, 2 Samuel 13:20, but master storytellers Vamash and Everson take readers beyond this sorrowful ending to a horizon of hope, thanks to their brilliant adaptation of an ancient anonymous manuscript purportedly, that's a hard word to say, purportedly written by Gad the Seer, who shows up in 1 Chronicles 29:29, which was discovered in India in the early 18th century. Beyond the biblical text, this manuscript provides a surprising conclusion which has powerful modern-day significance. Rich with cultural, biblical, and historic detail, and spiritually compelling, Ohoti will inspire readers to overcome humiliation, pain, betrayal, and bitterness to embrace a life of purpose. Okay, so I didn't actually read that summary before I put this on the list. I thought this was Tamar in Genesis, but it's the other Tamar, which is also cool because I've never read anything about her, and I've always been kind of surprised by that. But now, the whole adapted from another manuscript thing, that part I'm a little wary of, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, biblical fiction, most biblical fiction sounds like something I would enjoy, probably. Speaking of, my last book on this list is The Sisters of Corinth by Angela Hunt, coming out May 21st. When the new provincial governor arrives in Corinth, the esteemed chief magistrate Narcus Ligus is delighted. He sees a golden opportunity in the governor's presence, a chance to unite their households through the marriage of one of his beautiful unwed daughters to the governor's firstborn son. Such an advantageous union would surely bring divine blessings by the gods, propelling him to greater power and fortune. Yet complications quickly arise in Narcissus' own family. Mariana, his stepdaughter, holds a steadfast faith in Yeshua, rendering her hesitant to marry a man devoted to the Roman gods, despite Narcissus' urging. On the other hand, Prima, his daughter by birth, yearns for a life of wealth and status and is willing to go to great lengths to secure a marriage that fulfills her desires, even if it means betraying Mariana to do it. Yeah, I've liked other things that I've read by Angela Hunt, so I figured that sounded like a good book too. So I figured this sounded like a good book too. So, all right. So those are the books that are coming out in the first half of the year that I am interested in. Please let me know if there's any that you think that you've seen that you think I might also be interested in. I just pulled these from christianbook.com. So please like and subscribe. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.